News every 15 minutes, weather every 10, and sports twice an hour.
Newstalk, KGVO, AM 1290 and 101.5 FM.
You're listening to Montana Morning with Peter Christian.
The Bern rocked Montana yesterday. Good morning, everyone. This is Montana Morning. It's Thursday, May 12th, 2016, and it is a lovely morning in western Montana. We've got 38 degrees right now. Our newscast this morning sponsored by AAA. Your AAA card pays for itself with discounts on local and national brands. Join now and get a free canvas tote. Our top story this morning, Missoula felt the burn yesterday as Democratic candidate for President Bernie Sanders spoke before a crowd of several thousand people at Caras Park. Over 4,500 people in the park, more than 4,000 couldn't get in. He struck familiar themes throughout his over 90-minute speech. Sanders closed with a new catchphrase, not good enough.
People are asking why we are having a proliferation of millionaires and billionaires, and we have the highest rate of childhood poverty of almost any major country on earth. Not good enough. And people are asking, how does it happen that we remain the only major country on earth not to guarantee health care to all people as a right?
Sanders left the stage to a standing ovation and then traveled to Billings for a rally at Metro Park. He's in South Dakota today. Just 8 more states have elections before the Democratic National Convention, or I should say primaries before the Democratic National Convention. Sanders said voters in those states have a chance to rebuff the party establishment and advance his platform of economic and social equality. Following Sanders' appearance, Montana Senator Steve Daines commented on the Vermont senator's very expensive campaign proposals.
When Bernie Sanders speaks, you better grab your wallet because he'll be there raiding the wallets of Montanans, the taxpayers of this country, to pay for his Santa Claus agenda. And we've got to do everything we can to make sure that Bernie Sanders or Hillary Clinton are never elected to president of the United States.
The Ravalli County Sheriff's Office is investigating after a Corvallis school bus driver left a 16-year-old developmentally disabled girl on a school bus in a restraint system for 3 hours after the bus dropped all the other students off. School officials say the driver forgot to take the girl off the bus last Thursday. Family members told KECI television the girl had the cognitive ability of a 4-year-old. Undersheriff Steve Holden said she needed to be harnessed into the bus for safety. Superintendent Tim Johnson said the district is improving the way attendance information is shared between drivers and special services staff. The driver was placed on paid leave during an investigation and won't drive for Corvallis schools for the rest of the school year. The girl's family says she's no longer attending school in Corvallis. Well, the Bitterroot National Forest released its final plan for motorized use in the 1.6 million-acre forest after 9 years and a record 13,400 comments received from the public. Forest Supervisor Julie King signed the final report Wednesday morning.
A lot of people like to use ATVs and mountain bikes and motorcycles, and there are some changes to the designated routes for those vehicles. We have 2,246 miles of forest roads and trails, which would be similar to driving from Hamilton, Montana to New York City. King said those who use roads and highways in the forest will see few changes. However, there are new restrictions in designated wilderness areas. The major changes are to roads and trails that were in the wilderness study areas and recommended wilderness areas on the forest. In the wilderness study areas, we will not allow any motorized use summer or winter. King said anyone using the roads and trails in the Bitterroot National Forest will be responsible for learning and abiding by the new regulations. You can read them on our website at newstalkkgvo.com. Just click the link on the story. Kalispell police have 21 suspects they think were involved in an act of vandalism at Flathead High School early Tuesday morning. Police Investigations Captain Doug Overman explains.
Early in the morning, some subjects had caused a significant amount of damage to the inside of the school. There was some water fountains that were ripped off the wall, like the bottle fill stations. There were some cups and sawdust and, some like shaving cream and that kind of stuff written on the wall. There was a statue that sustained some damage in there as well. Toilet paper, those kind of things.
Many of the individuals were caught on surveillance video and appear to be students.
As far as the motivation for it, we're still at the, initial stages of talking to everybody to really find out the motivation for all of it. At this point, we believe that everybody that has been identified so far is a student. from a law enforcement side, we're looking at criminal mischief for the damage inside the school, obviously trespass for unlawfully entering the school.
On top of all the legal issues, students were warned by school officials that suspension or even expulsion were possible for any students involved in those illegal activities. The Montana Supreme Court has barred state employees from reporting to federal authorities the immigration status of people seeking state services. The court's unanimous decision yesterday strikes down the last remaining piece of a voter-approved law meant to deter people who are in the country without legal permission from moving to Montana. The law would have denied services to people who arrived in the U.S. illegally. It was approved by 80% of the voters in 2012 and immediately challenged by an immigrant rights organization. A Helena judge rejected most of the law as unconstitutional back in 2014. The Supreme Court upheld that ruling, and went further to strike down a remaining provision requiring state workers to report to immigration officials the names of applicants who are not in the U.S. legally. The official list of Montana farmers markets has grown dramatically over the past decade. Steph Heistad from the Montana Department of Agriculture has more.
We've put together a free statewide guide, so it's a great way for them to get the word out about their markets. Some markets have 2 or 3 vendors and don't do a lot of marketing. As far as the number of markets that are listed with the Montana Department of Agriculture, we had 79 this year, although there are probably more like 100 across the state.
Missoula may lead the pack in the number of farmers markets and is just one of 2 cities that also has a winter farmers market.
There are big ones in Butte, Big Sky, Helena. Livingston has a really big one. Bozeman has a couple of big ones. I think Missoula has like 6 or 7. And so they're a great community gathering place. A lot of families and friends meet up there and listen to live music and make a morning of it. So it's definitely a great fun summer event.
Attendance numbers are not something the Department of Agriculture keeps track of, so no one seems to know which farmers market is the busiest. Out of Wyoming, a group of lawmakers is seeking to increase taxes on wind farms to put more money into education, which is mostly funded through payments made by the declining coal industry. The Casper Star-Tribune reports the legislature's Joint Revenue Committee discussed 2 proposals yesterday that would raise wind taxes. One plan would increase the tax per megawatt hour of wind produced in Wyoming. Lawmakers are looking to put more into an account largely funded by payments made by coal companies that support school construction and maintenance. Wind energy representatives, though, say the increased taxes may stifle development of the wind industry in Wyoming. And finally, Montana lottery officials say no one has claimed a $10,000 prize from December's Montana Millionaire drawing. The winning ticket was sold at B&H Casino in Belgrade, and the winning number was 094857. The ticket expires June 18th. A $5,000 Mega Millions prize from the January 12th drawing has also gone unclaimed. Our News Talk time now, 6:12.
Newstalk, KGVO.
Missoula's official weather station.
Partly cloudy skies today with our high temperatures in the low 70s. Winds will be out of the west at 5 to 10 miles per hour. It will turn a bit breezy tonight with wind gusts as high as 30. I'm meteorologist Brooke Foster for Missoula's KECI 13.